The maker community had a huge hype cycle where it was all about, it went from zero to maker, which is like learning as a hobbyist, to making for the first time.
So could you please share with us more about yourself, what's your name, where you are from, and what do you make?
Sure. Duleesha Kulasooriya, I run a think tank for Deloitte called Center for the Edge, and I'm also the innovation leader for Deloitte for Asia Pacific. And in the context of why we're here, the reason we're called Center for the Edge is because we look at how the world's changing by looking at the edges of the world. And the maker movement was one of those edges we've been studying for over 10 years. We wrote a paper about it called The Movement in the Making 10 years ago. We ended up interviewing a lot of people and got the Maker Fair into the White House, as among other things. And the reason we're here in Shenzhen, we're really excited to be here, is because we always saw the ecosystem between China and the US as the two biggest hotspots in the maker movement. And we featured Shenzhen and Seed Studios and others in our first report, and it's good to come back and see 10 years later how it's evolving.
Thank you for that. So in your opinion, what is and what has been changing in the maker community?
The maker community had a huge hype cycle where it was all about, it went from zero to maker, which is like learning as a hobbyist, to making for the first time, to maker, where the big communities supporting each other and how you make things. So the learning experience only went faster and faster, and to maker to market, where you started actually building businesses on this. And we felt that this was at that point, and this was in the hype cycle of 2015, 2016, at the heat of the height of it all, that the maker movement was going to change everything from how we do education to learning to manufacturing, all of that. And then everything kind of crashed. There was a mismatch between kind of the funding cycles and the patience for that and the ambitions that these companies had. And then we had a global pandemic, and now we have geopolitical issues, all of which exacerbate the maker movement kind of going back into that zero to maker, maker to maker space. And what we're seeing now as we come out from the pandemic, as geopolitics are lightening up, that there's a resurgence of the maker movement, and this time it's also going to be powered by AI, not just by hardware. So there's both hardware, software, and that maker ethos all coming together.
Okay, so the last question, where and what you are heading and aiming next?
So we as Deloitte and we as a Center for the Edge, what we can do is to be orchestrators and accelerators, connectors and accelerators for the maker movement. We understand what the world needs and what you can get paid for. We take that and connect that with the makers who are really good at making things and doing what they love, right? So if you can connect that passion with the needs of the world and what you can get paid for, we could help evolve the maker movement to what it can be. And so we are hoping that in this next generation, we continue to be those connectors and evolve to a whole new range of sustainable maker businesses that can help solve for our biggest problems.
That's the end of the interview. Thank you very much.